Welcome to Theory Chat, talking about the latest in the Bob Joyce theories and old Elvis connections. Need to be clear on the terminology and verbiage I use because it can be hard explaining some of these things to many different people with many different sort of perceptions and belief systems. But this theory chat is new, and it's just something I can do while I got Cassie here with my bike and talking to all of you and seeing where you all are at with what's going on too. Somebody commented earlier today and said that the tickets for the dinner and show on October 10th were already sold out. Can anybody confirm that? Hi, Joanne, from the Marianas. Awesome. Welcome. Let's see, what time is it there? Let's see, that's going west. I'm not going to try to figure that out right now. But yeah, welcome. So, yeah, I don't know if the tickets have already been sold out for October 10th. It didn't look like the place is very big, though. So, if there is still tickets, your time is definitely running short. With as popular as Pastor Bob has become. 11:33 a.m. Thursday. It's Thursday there already? What? I thought it was Wednesday there. Hi, JNF is back from Kentucky. Welcome. So I'm starting to, I think, learn the roads that I can take and keep my signal and keep talking to you guys without interruptions, I hope. But this bike kind of is swervy, so I don't give you that view too often. Yep, nope. Okay, well, welcome. So have you all seen the two new videos posted today? We have a red-faced Bob video, which honestly I'm surprised I didn't catch before with the neckline, because I've looked funny at that picture for probably at least a year or more already. It's not a new picture, but it's the picture that they used or it's the picture that Cullman Daily used to talk about the performance on October 10th. Tinian, where the gate was loaded in World War II. Okay, well, I know where the Marianas Islands are. I haven't been there. I've been to a lot of islands in the Pacific. I was stationed in Hawaii and Okinawa for the Marine Corps for several years each. And I got to go on a lot of trips across the Pacific, Australia, some countries in Asia. So I love the Pacific Islands. That is my idea of a great vacation, away from everything, far, far away. So yeah, the red-faced Bob was one video, and then but the other one was somebody made a brilliant point, G4 cab, in a comment, and I had to point it out, do a little review, and make another video myself, which was about Bob's viral moment at George Magazine Live last year, all of the names, the people of the Bible that he mentioned, were people whose names were changed. And Bob and Elvis were two of the names that were listed in that. And it was another one of those things that I kind of couldn't believe I didn't think about that before, because it's just right so there in your face, obvious. But we were focused on the Elvis part. Russia had an 8.0 earthquake. Oh, wow. And you got a tsunami warning this afternoon. Well, we can certainly pray for all of you, and that the Lord will just protect you, or just totally calm that tsunami, those waves. You probably have those fairly, well, not often. Being an island in the Pacific, it happens every once in a while, right? But that's a big earthquake. 8.0 is big. So, like I said before, sometimes I'm still surprised that I'm still sharing, talking about everything going on with Pastor Bob, just because, for one, I was never an Elvis fan. And so I've kind of just become like a Pastor Bob fan from day one. And it's like he just happened to be formerly Elvis, you know? And it's just been so interesting to see all the things. Hello. A little girl just followed me. And probably my dog, Cassie. Sorry, I got sidetracked. But yeah, it's just been interesting. And kind of like with the new things that came up today in the videos that were posted, it kind of still amazes me that there's still things like dots being connected that weren't before. Even from the same viral video a year ago, it's just kind of crazy. But, and that goes for me too. We all connect dots at different times in different ways. And it's just kind of fascinating. But we've seen it speed up and play out for sure. Carl, oh, Joanne, you're going to go to higher ground? Okay, good. That's what I like to hear. Carl said, I always thought it was strange when Elvis Presley passed, there was no USA flag on the coffin. I always thought military have one. Yeah, that's a good point. I've heard people bring up many times. He did serve in the military, in the army. So, yeah, if he didn't officially die, then they can't officially render him honors, right? So that makes sense. It's kind of like a lot of things. Why do all of the signs keep pointing to he never died, right? It would be easier for all of us to question it if at least once in a while we'd find out something that was like, well, yeah, it's really 50-50. He could have died or he could be alive. But it's like one thing after the next just points us. It keeps pointing us in that direction. And so that goes along with what I was saying about how it still even amazes me that we keep finding things today from years ago, things that we've already talked about, considered, and thought we figured out the whole thing, right? When he says, or when he said, I remember it, you don't need Bob, you don't need Paul, you don't need Peter, you don't need Cephas, you don't need Elvis, you need Jesus. For the last year, the line that he said, it was kind of like that's all we needed, right? The crowd went nuts at the event after he said that. And we kind of all did in our own way. But it wasn't just that, it was also how um, he put it all together in his sermon. So that's why I put in some of the extra clips together with that. And then, oh, there was another thing in that same video that I also didn't plan on going into today, which um, was something I thought about before. But in that message, in that sermon, he talked about the big tent revivals. And so I went back and did some searching on what years those were during. And yeah, if you're a skeptic, you could say, well, they were still going on in the 1950s, early 1950s. Pastor Bob was supposedly born, what was it, 1952 or 53? I forget right now the year. But yeah, he could have been a little kid. But the way he describes it, come one, come all, and some other things, it really sounds more like the 30s or the 40s. It's just the way he describes growing up and stuff. And because in the 1950s, yeah, I don't know what year, you'd really have to dig to maybe try to come up with a specific year, but in the 1950s, the black and white TVs were becoming a thing. And pastors could now preach, give their sermons on TV. So, of course, there were still tent revivals, that kind of stuff, but they were kind of dying out, right? So, it's one of those things. It's not like it's rarely the foolproof thing we can point to and say, "Bam, he was born in 1935." There it is. But like I was saying, why do all of the dots connect in that direction? It just makes sense. Supposedly, Ryan requested that Elvis have roses at the coffin instead of a flag, which doesn't really make sense at all. Who don't want everyone to know that their son served in the military? Yeah, it don't make sense at all. And then JNF, you also said, what makes me think most that he's never outright stated that he wasn't Elvis. He's always said something that sounded like a denial, but always left a little crack open for the theories. Yeah, very true. Very true. Come on, Cass. Okay, making our way home. Making our way. But anyhow, that one picture, promo pic with the red-faced Pastor Bob, that got me looking at other pictures and comparing. So you can very easily do the same just by looking at some of the pictures we've shared here on this channel. Well, there's hundreds of them, if not thousands. But yeah, even if there was some kind of strange farmer's tan thing going on, it wouldn't change like that drastically. And like, you can look at the Safely Home cover photo. There's nothing going on different there. It just looks like a normal neck, like most of us. But a few of the pictures, not normal, not normal at all. Greg said the concert is sold out. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. I'm sure they're even holding a certain amount of tickets aside for VIPs, dignitaries. What's the possibility of a certain Prez being there, or just other well-known people? I really think this event, including the George Magazine Live, is going to be bigger than last year. People have been talking a lot about, even the skeptics. It's just kind of unavoidable because people are sharing stuff on all the apps, and of course that includes me and my team on this channel. But so I am expecting it to be bigger, different somehow at George Magazine Live. And then, of course, this concert is kind of like a first thing. We don't know what to expect in some ways. But I didn't check. I was going to see how many people that venue seated. I have no idea. I just saw the pictures and the building that I think it's going to be in, and it don't look that big. Several hundred people, 1,000. I really don't know. How do people try to say that both Elvis and Bob having the same crooked pinky bent in the same way on the same hand is a coincidence? Yeah, and there's some scars too that have been matched up. Well, I don't blame skeptics, because I am one too. And even though I want to just say I fully believe 100% Bob used to be Elvis, I've always tried to leave 1% skeptic just in case I found out new information, because it is an almost unbelievable story, right? But with God, all things are possible, and He can absolutely save and change somebody like Elvis Presley. And so that's what we believe. All the proof is there. But, and then I just keep in mind too that a lot of people just aren't looking at all of the info and the pics and everything like we have. So, like I started out in this video, everybody is at a different place in the journey. And that's actually why sometimes I struggle with words, is because I'm trying to communicate the big picture to every kind of person, from the Elvis fan who wants nothing to do with Pastor Bob to the Pastor Bob fan and supporter follower believer who is all in and knows that Pastor Bob was EP. There's a whole wide variety of people and backgrounds in between there. So that's why it can be different or difficult making these videos sometimes. Who is that? Callie? Welcome. Callie said, I was a skeptic, but voice coach did review. Nothing different except longer vibrato, probably due to age. He looks like he had a rhinoplasty to narrow the bridge of his nose and lower the height of it. Yeah, I know nothing about plastic surgery, but just logically comparing many pictures, it doesn't seem to me like any big enough change that couldn't be a combination of age and or plastic surgery. So, I mean, especially when you look at some of the celebrities who have gone crazy with it and gone overboard, you can obviously make some pretty huge changes. And it doesn't seem that drastic even to me at all. So, but as far as your voice coach comment goes, I have also been a voice coach and music director, band leader, percussionist, piano player, rock band leader with the Marine Corps for many years. I've been an auditioner for musicians of all different instruments, including vocals. I've been an audio engineer for many years, both just amateur and professional at different levels. And so, yeah, the vibrato is very, well, similar, doesn't cut it. I would classify it as almost identical, which is amazing. Considering you're comparing recordings from the 1970s to 1990 and after, when he was under the name then Pastor Bob, putting out music. So, yeah, it sounds like an older EP. That's what it sounds like. Even his, I missed a few comments here. Oh, hi, Tammy. Nothing is a coincidence with God, says Joanne. I agree. Yeah, Tammy, I wasn't an Elvis fan, but as a believer, as people who know how dark and crazy the world is, I don't blame Elvis either. Or Pastor Bob, I should say. Knowing what we know about Pastor Bob, I can't imagine him hanging out at Graceland and even probably wanting to even be in that atmosphere. That's like the old life. I could be wrong, but if it was me and I made that drastic of a change and I was now a pastor at a church and basically living the good life, I wouldn't want anything to do with that old place. That's just me though. Even his talking voice, his finger that was bent, and his comments about Bible names. Yeah. You almost fell over when he said that about the Bible names. People, they all changed their names. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny because I can't even remember if I heard about that, thought about it before, but just was so, I was already so happy with just the statement that he made at the time. I don't know, but it sure has been entertaining. I will say that much. So I think I'll wrap it up there. It's a nice night here. I hope, Joanne, I hope you stay safe with the storm and everything. Get on higher ground in the island there. Oh, hi, Jackie, in Australia. I loved my trips to Australia when I was in the Marine Corps because I love talking to all of you with your accents. Um, Kelly said he has said in sermons many times that he used to do something like move his legs like that, but can't do it now, just moves his shoulders. Yeah, there's been there's been a lot of comedy, a lot of things that he's said. So many. So, okay, I'm gonna wrap it up there, everybody. But thank you all. As always, I don't do it often, sort of promote or talk about my other channels and everything, but please, if you're enjoying the videos and everything, if you want to find out more, go in the description below. There's all kinds. Until next time, well, more coming soon. So stay tuned. I'll see you all again very soon. Yeah, apparently the contest was sold out already, but I haven't verified that for myself, but that's what people are saying. Hi, Elaine. You made it right before I wrap it up. So, okay, well, take care. I will see you soon. We'll be back soon with another theory chat. Bye for now. God bless. Take care.